Too much, sorry. Yeah. It's just my coffee I should be drinking.
Did you lobby the writers for the chance to have Shepard really smack Ronan? One, kind of as a payment for the various times that they put Shepard through that?
Did I push the idea of having Shepard smack Ronan?
Yeah.
You don't want to smack Ronan. It's just like, you know, ask the guys that dealt with the Lions in Las Vegas, you know. Careful. Also, it was interesting casting him because they, the minute I met Jason, I was like, oh man, that guy's got a great presence. He's my Chewie, man. I need a Chewie. And they tested 3 guys, and I flew down to LA to read with them. And the first guy was a really good actor, and he just nailed it. But you know, he was a more diminutive. He didn't have the same physical presence. And the second guy was horrible. I mean, it was like painful to watch. I was like, oh yeah. It was like, my people, they suffer. And I was like, oh boy, that's pretty bad. And he'd come right off a soap opera. It made all perfect sense. And then Jason came in, and Jason kind of, you know, had his own way of doing things. And I thought, if anything, you got to watch him. You watch him. Watching is good. You like that. That's television. Keep watching. And when I went in there, the network, of course, had their choices, and the top choice was my people. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And Brad and I liked the idea of Jason. And I think the two of us kind of whittled away at him, and we're like, got Jason there. And it was a really good dynamic because he was just the kind of guy who would stick his head through the door. And I think it worked out well. I don't know, I liked the dynamic quite a bit. In fact, I was pitching him the idea that Jason and I guess they didn't want to do it, but we were running around and we're just bounty hunters chasing Wraith. I was like, that'd be cool. We go to Earth, we blow them away. We go to space, blow them away. And you pay us. We have fun. Yeah, I didn't sell that idea. But I still think it'd be a good idea. You know, it could be with the Stargate franchise, too.
Did you get to keep any cool stuff from Stargate Letters?
I stole something, too. We won a People's Choice Award, which in the United States is a big deal. People's Choice Award is a really big deal. It's unfiltered. It's not a group of professionals or Academy people saying, oh, this is what I think is cool. It's just the people saying, this is what we like, and we won. And they flew us down to LA, and we accepted the thing. It was really cool. Having never won anything, I really liked having it. And the last day of work, I was like, where is that People's Choice Award? And I went upstairs, and of course it's in the producer's shelf, right behind him. He's like 4 feet tall. And the thing was right about there, and I go, remember that People's Choice Award that we won? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want it. So I took it. Sitting in my living room right now. That meant something to me. That's like really nice. And we're going to let each cast member keep it. Those things are really nice. There are a lot of other awards, and the Canadians are really, really good at giving themselves awards. But you have to be Canadian. You have to be Canadian. They won't, if you're American, they won't give you awards. So all my Canadian castmates and crew members and producers and writers are always like, you know, awards everywhere. They're like, this is my Gemini, and this is my Pluto, and then I won an award for, you know, they have the most obscure names. Like, it is pretty funny, isn't it? So I think the writers have, in between their little Simpsons figurines and other things on the shelf, they have quite a few awards. So I think they're fine without that one. Oh, who's next?
Hey, and I was wondering how often, if at all, you improvise lines and find them making it into the final cut of the episode.
More often than you think. And when you're doing it, it's not met with much, they're not so happy about it. But then if it works, it works. The Chewy line was one where we come running in, and I think there was an issue, maybe did it clear? Things like that. And there were golden opportunities for a lot of great comments. And the first couple of years we were sensitive to, like, oh, if it's not written, then you call the writer and you say, oh, I think it would be really great. What if I said this? And they usually, most of the time would say no. And then I think cut to year 4, Hewlett was like, David was like, I'm not even asking him anymore. I'm just going to do it. And maybe that's why we're not in the 6th season. Who knows? So, and that guy he had to carry a load. He had to carry a load. And my argument consistently was like, look, the show should be about an ordinary guy going through extraordinary circumstances. And I was like, a lot of times we're writing stories of incredibly, wildly intelligent scientists going through incredibly elaborate and complicated plot lines. I said, that's not the same. And that's actually, it creates a huge distance between an average viewer and the show. And you can't forget about the ordinary guy going through extraordinary circumstances. So, I don't know. But maybe that's what they're trying to get back to. I don't know. Maybe. I watched 20 minutes of that new show, and I was with my boys, and they go like, Daddy, this is boring. I was like, oh, really? How boring? They're like, I liked it better when you were on it. I was like, that's right, kid, come over here. Let's watch some wrestling. So we turned it off.
Hi, about halfway through the series, I think Rodney compares your character to Kirk. I just wondered how you felt about that.
Did anyone ever complain about that? I feel that we didn't exploit that angle enough. Lots of planets out there, inhabited by beautiful women. Yes, it's not, I did pitch quite a few stories involving me and a planet filled with women. They didn't really sell that well. It's interesting because Brad and I had a general disagreement over women, the role of women, and everything else on the show. He said that there is no evidence that women are needed at all to make a science fiction show successful. And I'm not saying he was saying it, in any dismissive way. Because I was saying, a lot of the critical science fiction shows had really beautiful women and, or really smart women, et cetera, et cetera. And I was always promoting the idea of having some type of love interest for Shepard. And I think he was just torturing me. He'd be like, I don't think you need one. You can find on your own. And I ended up alone. Remember, it was the end of the season, the last scene, everybody's on a balcony, and they're all hooked up with people. And I'm just like, anyway.